Hello, Whatnuts, Humpty Dump Nuts, and Clubbers. It is Tuesday, May 6th in the United States and Canada, and this is What Chaos, presented by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code WhatChaos. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. Prize Picks, run your game. My name is David Bean. I sit beside Pete Blackburn, and across the room is Sean DePaz. Sean's looking great in his Utah Hockey Club jersey. How are you, my friend?
Clubbers rise up. I'm great. We, as Utah Hockey Clubbers, won the second draft lottery. So I'm feeling great.
I was saying this before the show. Actually, it's no different than if they won the first drawing. Because they could only move up 10 spots anyway.
I mean, it's different in the sense that if they had won the first drawing, the Islanders wouldn't have. So then the Islanders wouldn't have the first pick.
Oh, fair.
But otherwise, the result as far as Utah is concerned is the same, yes.
I cannot wait to talk about this lottery. I cannot wait because all of the teams that were sub 500 moved down. And I learned as yesterday's show went on, I'm a bit of a hater when it comes to teams aiming for the pick, I suppose. So I think it's pretty cool that all those teams moved down. I'm looking more forward to saying hello to my friend Pete Blackburn.
I was looking forward
because
to
you
that
were
more. I was going to say that, but then you started going on about how you don't like the draft lottery.
I like the draft lottery.
Which I was going to say, if you don't like teams aiming for a top pick in the draft lottery, the alternative to that is they're not being a lottery and them just aiming for the worst pick. How are you doing, Pete?
Thank you. I'm doing good. Actually, I just lied. I'm not doing good. I sort of had to lightly defend Toronto Maple Leafs last night. It's gross. Feel bad about it. So I'm not doing good. Thanks for asking,
Is that because
Sean.
of Sam Bennett?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll talk plenty of him, and we'll talk plenty of a lot of things. Tell us what's on the show.
Today on the show, we are going to talk about the Leafs win that nobody cares about. They won game one. It was a must-win game, according to DJ. Mm-hmm. They won. They looked pretty good. Nobody cares about it because Sam Bennett did a thing again. So that leads us into the second topic, playoff Bennett. He's back, baby. Doing more stuff. Utah Hockey Club general manager Bill Armstrong is going to join the show fresh off a lottery win. Not the lottery win, a lottery win.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you do the mega ball, I think there's usually a big winner.
There's a ton of
and then there's other winners. So
yeah,
Islanders won the mega ball, but yeah,
but he won the lottery though.
Right.
It's
he didn't win the jackpot.
He won a ladder.
Yeah. He didn't win the jackpot.
Yes.
He won the lottery, not the jackpot. Still rich. And finally, Bob strikes again. Much like Sam Bennett, we got playoff Bob Stauffer, and you know what that means. Airport runway video.
I was wondering if you would, as you were saying, I thought it was obvious when I put it in that I was talking about Stauffer, but when I saw that in context, I was like, oh, that might look like Sergei Bobrovsky isn't having the best postseason right now. So maybe it's about that. No, it's about Bob Stauffer because he's leaning into it. And he does that whole oh gosh, well, when you got an ugly face like mine, blah, blah, blah. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, last year, he wasn't the one posting the videos, was it?
No.
It was the Oilers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the Oilers who posted it. And this year, Bob was like, I got my team on it. Don't worry about it. Not like his personal team, not the team.
Okay, let's begin with the Toronto Maple Leafs winning game one against the Panthers 5-4. As you noted, I thought it was a must win. And as that game went on, boy, did I think it was a must-win because if they found a way to blow that with a 4-1 lead, famously they do that in the postseason, they would have been in big trouble. The big story, though, is Anthony Stolarz leaving the game after throwing up. He was taken to the hospital. he had to do this because he was hit in the head first by a hockey puck and then by the elbow of Sam Bennett. I don't know which is less surprising. I would say that the more of the guarantee there is that Sam Bennett is probably going to do something in the playoffs because this is what he does. And
Wait, more of a guarantee than a goalie getting hit in the puck with a head or hit in the head getting hit in the head with a puck?
Yeah, because goalies usually don't get hit in the head with a puck.
I was just making sure that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right.
It's just
it
funny.
is less surprising that, specifically in the playoffs, it's less surprising that Sam Bennett does something questionable, and we don't do hit chat famously, but we are going to show our professionalism in dancing around it.
That's right.
And saying that I saw that overhead angle, said fucking Sam Bennett.
Sam Bennett could learn some lessons about dancing around things and not really getting into the hit discussion of it.
So I don't think we have do we have that overhead angle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like I saw this, and as I said, I see it and I say, fucking Sam Bennett. I'm not calling the police. I'm not taking up a collection for Anthony Stolarz, but I usually assume Sam Bennett knows what he's doing.
Yeah, right. Like it's not egregious. It's not like, oh my God, get this guy out of the league. I don't even think it's suspension worthy. But when it's Sam Bennett and that number is on the back of that jersey,
yes,
the benefit of the doubt is removed.
It's something he would do. And I feel that this has happened to anybody who has been a bit of a troublemaker to any degree, whether it's being called into the principal's office, whether it's at home, your parents. Have you ever been in the situation where someone says to you, well, why do I always see you here?
Yeah.
Why?
That was famously said to me a lot.
Yeah, yes. Sean, you ever get that?
No. Were you a shit stir?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, I was like such a good little
kid. Bad kid.
I was very, very
So
good
I wasn't
kid.
I was a pain in the ass, but I was a handful as a kid, but I wasn't like causing actual trouble. I wasn't harming anybody.
I wasn't harming anybody, but I got suspended a few times.
I never got suspended. My mom always said I was an easy kid. I was a good little boy.
You know, want to know my funniest suspension was I mooned a Catholic school bus on my bus.
I did get one detention in high school, and it was for heel clicking off the stage. And I guess at a Catholic church, the stage is pretty important. It's called the altar. During a concert.
God.
Yeah, I didn't really know. I was just excited because we were about to do a concert, and I was running across the thing, and I had to jump off the stage, so I heel clicked on the way. And then my director was like,
sorry for
everyone
party
saw me.
rocking.
Yeah, literally.
Sorry for throwing ass at the school bus of Catholic kids. My bad.
At any rate, Sam Bennett gets the if you never do it, why are you always there? Why am I always seeing you? Why, when we have to talk about the thing that went down, are you always involved? Is Sam Bennett the most unlucky player in the league? I would say no. So that's the hit chat of it. I don't think that it was this big, horrible thing, but I think that it's something that Sam Bennett would do, and I think that it's something that Sam Bennett knew he was doing. Now, Stolarz leaves. He throws up. We see that. Very lovely. Joseph Woll comes in, and he's very shaky, I'll say. Like, shaky to very shaky. Let in one goal in particular that was horrible, and I'm thinking, here we go, Leafs. And no supplemental discipline for Sam Bennett. It leads to the question of, why doesn't he ever get in trouble for this? And the answer is, our friend Kevin Majori from 95 The Sports Hub tweeted a bunch of things that Sam Bennett has done in the playoffs. And I had them off the top of my head, like Marchand last year, Nyes a couple of years ago, Bunting a couple of years ago. I think Bunting he was fined for. But the other ones, he doesn't get in trouble. So the reason he doesn't get in trouble is because he doesn't get in trouble. You're not a repeat offender if you don't have to pay for any of the shit that you do. So there is no, well, remember what he did last year. What that he did last year? He didn't get in trouble for that shit.
Not on the books.
Not on the books.
I mean, that's also part of the reason why when people were saying, doing the comparison between, well, the puck did more damage versus Bennett's elbow and doing that whole debate. And just because it was like subtle and it wasn't egregious doesn't mean that he didn't do it on purpose. I would argue that like it's an even better case of him doing it on purpose because it's subtle. It's usually subtle when he does it. He gets away with this because he's pretty good at it. And honestly, I can respect that. And we had this conversation last night. I can respect Sam Bennett for playing on the edge and being a little dirty, being a little nasty. Even when he did it to Marchand last year, I was not up in arms. I was pissed that Marchand was hurt. I was mad about it. But I give respect to Sam Bennett for being able to do that shit, get away with it because it helps his team. And that's kind of like an element of playoff hockey. What I was really mad about last night is that he did not talk to the media. That pissed me off more than anything.
Look at Internet Pete is now an old school journalist. Come face the music. Give us our quote. Pete, I understand myself feeling that way because I was one of those crusty old, like, he didn't give a quote on it. Well, he's a bad guy. Everybody, yourself, like, if Pete sees that and is like, what a fucking bitch move, then you know it's a bitch move.
Like, stand on business. If you're going to be the dirty, kind of greasy guy who is involved in these plays, speak on it. And like, it also, it makes you look more guilty. That's part of it.
Yeah, but there's something to plead in the fifth where it helps your case because you're not further hurting your case.
You can plead the fifth while also speaking to the media. You can be like, I don't have much to say on that. I don't know what happened. Anthony Stolarz, like, he spoke today and he said a lot of things. He was like, Stolarz is a friend of mine. I love that guy. I didn't do it on purpose. If he did that last night, it's a much better reflection because then you don't get to say he ducked the media.
And that's why, as dirty players go, like, I see that shit last night, the whole thing, him not talking after, and I'm like, yeah, I think I just, like, don't like Sam Bennett. Marchand, I obviously love and is a dirty player. I've never had a problem saying that. He understands what his reputation is.
Right.
Marchand will come out after and say something, whether it's the truth, whether it's a lie, and that's why in my head when I was watching last night, I'm like, Marchand would do this differently. I'm like, yeah, Sam Bennett's not Marchand, though. Like, Marchand is the GOAT at it. I will say, though, as you said, Bennett is the best at doing that one that you don't see in real time.
Yeah,
he always gets it in there. Here's Craig Berube on that hit.
What was your view on the Sam Bennett hit on Stolarz? And
elbow to the head. Yeah, clearly. Yeah, clear as day.
Were you satisfied with your players' response to that? Like, did they handle it the way you would like, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you. I mean, I think at the time, we handled it the way we should handle it. I'm not sure why there's not a call on it. But, I get it. They miss calls, but it's clearly a penalty.
I mean, I don't know what you expect him to say there, but that's a pretty sensible response.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, elbowed my guy in the head. You want to goose it up a little bit, that's fine. The most important comments, though, from this came from hockey YouTuber Steve Dangle is his name. Let's see.
People are always criticizing me for just doing my job. And if you think it's so easy, why don't you do it? No. I have to do this forever to prove a point. Oh, my phone's ringing. Oh, it's Colin Campbell. Hello?
George?
Yes?
It's Colin Campbell.
I know. It's 2025. Everyone has call display. What's up?
Did you see that Max Domi got within 5 feet of Brad Marchand after a whistle?
I did. Thank goodness they called that. Now I have to ask, did you see that Sam Bennett gave another player a concussion?
No, I don't think so.
No, me neither. Did you see who's on the bench for the Leafs as assistant coach?
Oh, it's that faker Mark Savard, isn't it? That big faker.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Oh, I knew that would get him. Thank goodness people aren't listening to this.
Oh, I know. Could you imagine?
No. Thank goodness people aren't going to Google Colin Campbell, Mark Savard and see what comes up. Anyway, is there a reason you're calling?
Well, George, I just couldn't help but notice that my son's team lost tonight.
No, I could see how that would make you upset. Well, I'm actually kind of busy, so how about we call it a night there, Colin?
Yeah, all right. Good night, George, and go Panthers, okay?
You really got to lower your voice when you still work for the league. You still work for... Isn't it unbelievable?
He's the best.
He is the best.
And I wasn't doing that as disrespect. I wasn't setting up that way. I was setting it up that way to make it like a surprise that here's now an important piece on this, and it's just fucking Steve Dangle freaking out.
He's the best.
Amazing.
That's all I ever want.
If anybody doesn't know what the Colin Campbell, Mark Savard thing is, in 2010, emails were leaked of Colin Campbell, who obviously works for the league.
Still
sending email, I forget when it was, but talking about Mark Savard, saying, I had him when we were in New York together, biggest faker going.
Yep.
And I think he also called like a a faker act.
I mean, it's also important to note this was after Mark Savard got high sticked by Gregory Campbell, who happens to be Colin Campbell's son.
Right. So
just defending his son, who now works for the Florida Panthers.
And is an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Big Gregory Campbell fan.
Yep.
Awesome stuff. But
this
tremendous.
is where we're all connecting the dots.
Tremendous from Dangle.
Yes.
Give us Bennett, Sean, if you have it. Thank you.
Obviously, just Jonesy was saying a bang play in front of the net last night. Just with that, I know you and Stolarz are good friends. Just how tough was it to see kind of how everything unfolded from there on out from your perspective?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I heard that he went to the hospital last night, and Stolarz is a good friend of mine. I reached out to him. He responded, and obviously never want to see an injury like that. But from my point of view, I'm just taking the puck in the net. I didn't even know that we made contact until after, and I mean, I'm on the power play. I'm trying to score. I'm taking the puck in the net, and that's really all there was to it.
Unluckiest guy in North America.
Yeah.
Can you believe that he didn't even know that he was making contact?
Didn't even feel it.
Didn't even.
Well, he's probably lost so many nerve endings in his elbow that that's why
he couldn't feel the metal helmet go into it.
That's right.
He's also calling Stolarz a bitch. He was like, I didn't even feel it. He ended up in the hospital.
I didn't feel it. Well, this guy?
Gross. Tough scenes. But
if that's how you treat your friends, Sam, hate to see how you treat your enemies.
All right, Leafs up 1-0. Thanks to Matthew Nyes, by the way. He saves the day because they were blowing this lead in the third period. They had a 4-1 lead. It got to 4-3, and Matthew Nyes saves the day with a breakaway goal to make it 5-3. Florida scores again, but Toronto ends up holding on, and they lead 1-0. They are at home for game 2. They have home ice advantage in this series. I had a few questions off this, and they kept getting further and further in my brain until I arrived at this. I'll ask both of you, starting with Pete. Is there any series lead the Maple Leafs can have that will make you think they're winning this series?
I mean, if they have a 3-0 lead, I'll feel like they should win the series. But will I expect them to win the series? Probably not.
But after last series, they had a 3-0 lead against a team that arguably is worse than the Florida Panthers.
Definitely.
The Ottawa Senators. Who's to say?
Yeah.
We don't know. Sean?
If they are up 3-0, I've talked about this before. I'm always going to think that a team is up 3-0. That a team that's up 3-0 is going to win the series.
Should win.
I'm going to think they are going to win based off the maths of it.
As we saw last night during the draft lottery, the math doesn't always math.
Yeah, no, I mean it is math. It's not 100% guarantee. So I would feel pretty confident if they're up 3-0. But I mean, it is the Toronto Maple Leafs. I won't feel like they've won a series until they
Can
win
I
the
go
series.
crazy on your asses? And I picked them to win this series before the playoffs started, so I feel worse about it now. I did not know the Panthers were going to be this unbelievable. Right. I did not know the Panthers were going to be this amazing, and I should have considered more that the Leafs could be a little leafy, but crazy as it sounds, and this shouldn't sound like a proclamation, but it is. If the Leafs are up 3-1 in this series at any point, I'll say, you know what? Punch the ticket.
I would only think that is if they're up 3-1 because they were up 3-0. Like,
oh, really?
I got their one loss out of the way.
I think mine would go the other way. I think that, like, if they're up 2-1, push to 3-1, I say, all right. Although, no, because if they push to 3-1, then it's like, oh, they'll lose the next one. And now it's 3-2.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the only thing I will feel comfortable in is that the Toronto Maple Leafs will not lose 4 straight games in the playoffs this year. Well, I mean, they might, just not now.
It is worth pointing out that there is precedent for the Florida Panthers losing game 1 in pretty lopsided fashion. Although last night was not that lopsided. The Panthers lost game 1 to the Bruins and got smoked.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
They got smoked, and Bruins fans were feeling pretty good after that. And then they absolutely killed them from that point on. So don't get too ahead of yourselves right now.
I'm going to be in Ontario next week I don't know if I should be outrageous and try to get to one of these games. I might miss the Oilers game if I go and see that, but what a time it could be. I'll tell you what, as I ponder it, I'll do that on Vivid Seats. I will browse Vivid Seats, the best place to catch your team live this postseason because they have the best selection of games and seats, and every purchase is backed by their 100% buyer guarantee. Plus, Vivid Seats is the only ticket marketplace that rewards you for every purchase, so download the Vivid Seats app and start earning rewards towards free tickets. New Vivid Seats users who use promo code CHAOS30 will receive $30 off their first purchase of $300 or more. Once again, click the link in the show notes, go to vividseats.com or download the Vivid Seats app and use promo code CHAOS30 for $30 off your first purchase of $300 or more. When it comes to playoff hockey, being there is all that matters, so experience it live with Vivid Seats.
We also have new sponsor alert. This is a big day for
kidding
us. Mando. It's a men's deodorant brand that loves All City. They did a run with All City previously, came back for more. It was so successful. They said, get these hockey boys in on the action because hockey boys famously smell terrible. So why not a men's deodorant brand that is hyper-focused on keeping every aspect of a man's body smelling fresh and clean? And yes, we mean every aspect, because the Mando difference is that you can put that damn deodorant anywhere you please. All over your body.
Emphasis on the ass.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's all over. All over Mando's mission statement is just put that shit wherever you want.
Popping out like Danny DeVito when he covers himself in hand sanitizer.
Yes, that's exactly. Mando saw that episode and they said, that's our business. We're making deodorant that goes anywhere you want. It is the frequent flyer of deodorant. You want to put it in your pits? Yeah, that sounds about right. Every other deodorant brand can do that. What about, you want to rub it on your balls? You can do that too. You want to go like thigh folds, stomach folds? Sure, why not? They say you can just rub it all over your butt crack and your grundle. DJ loves the word grundle, so he's very, very happy about this.
I like most words. I don't like all the some of the words that Pete uses. I'm like, they don't use those words anymore.
Haven't heard those since
How did
the
they do?
50s.
They're coming back.
Boy, I've never heard those since the 50s.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
Trends are cyclical. Don't worry about it.
What was
This is an outstanding first ad read.
I'll tell you,
They're
at
gonna be
least
so
at
happy
least when
with
he says
this.
grundle, he doesn't say that he got it from a song.
I could say it. It's just a song.
The Mando difference is that it's created by a doctor, and all of its products are baking soda free, paraben free, and they're clinically proven to control odor better than shower with soap. So you don't have to shower with soap anymore. Just use Mando. They've got the sticks, they've got the spray, they've got the wipes. It's unbelievable stuff. And you can get the starter pack, which is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And I didn't even mention, they come with unbelievable variety of scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. Awesome selection. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Use code WhatChaos at shopmando.com. That's SHOPMANDO.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando.
We're going to get to our guest in just a minute. Good lottery last night. Fun lottery. New format. New presentation. Unbelievable. 2 teams that were 500 or better are the winners, and I love it. We were talking yesterday about how I was getting a little out on teams aiming for the pick, and the team that aimed, we're not going to name names, and the team that traded a 25 goal scorer RFA, who is like one of their best players. Can't keep that guy. Just got to get everybody out. They end up getting the second pick. That's fine for me. And the team that gets the first pick is the Islanders, who were like close to a playoff team. My favorite, though.
I guess.
Sean and I were hooting and hollering. It was a little tough for Pete because he was hoping the Bruins could really just not move down. When Utah got that pick, were you rooting more for please get me the second overall pick or Jesus fuck, if you give me 7th, I'm going to lose my mind?
I mean, I was rooting for the second overall pick, obviously, but as a little extra kick in the pants, kick in the old nugs. Bruins get the least or the lowest draft pick that they could have possibly gotten, which stings. But I can officially say that I'm hurt to completion, so at least that's over with.
Awesome. All right. I see the camera. Do we know if our guest is here, Sean? Okay. I'm going to shoot a...
Oh, there. Oh, no, he's not. Okay.
Let me know when you're ready. All right. So, do you think that this was ultimately a good result and a good lottery experience? Take the broadcast out of it, which I think we all found a lot of fun. If you did not see it, they did 4 drawings, 4 numbers, and then matched those numbers to whichever team had that number. And what was cool about the broadcast was that each time a ball was drawn, they were able to eliminate teams that did not have something with those numbers in it. And it was pretty easy to follow until there was 1 ball remaining. And then they wanted to have some drama. And they're like, you're not going to remember all those fucking codes. And then they would draw one thing, have a guy write it down, hand it to Bill Daly, and announce who got it.
I thought it was awesome. I thought the drama was great. My big problem with it was that they spent like 10 minutes on the first draw and showed every step of it on the broadcast. And then they did like interviews for the next draw and just ignored all the balls that they pulled.
I've never been angrier to see Kevin Weeks.
Well, and also the first pick, they picked the first 3 balls, and then they're like, here's a 2-minute ad break.
That
and then
I get, though.
But then they came back and did another 30-second countdown from the 2-minute countdown that they had in the ad break for the final ball.
Sean, it was a long break. It was too long.
It was too long. They were hyping up the suspense. They also they overdosed on countdowns.
They
so
overdosed
many countdowns.
But I was into them at first. We were like,
Yes.
we were like, oh, now this is good.
I
And then it was
loved all of it, but they just were like doing. It seemed like there could have been 2 less men in the room. The guy that was
There was a lot of
watching
filler.
the clock on the wall, like
I want that job.
But
I like the guy in the vest because they never explained what he did.
they had a man whose only job there was to give a hand signal when it was time to pull the next ball. But for some reason, had him looking at a clock that was on a screen behind him. Why?
So
Like,
we
just-
all could see it, I guess.
But like, none of that part was not important at all. And also, put a clock in front of him so we're not staring at his back.
Okay.
There were too many fail points, and there were too many guys, too many men on the ice.
Yes.
There were definitely too many men.
Yes.
That was too many men derogatory. Like when we watch the
Yes.
Oilers broadcast and it's a bunch of old dudes, we're like, hilarious. That's not out of sexism. That's just out of
Dudes rock.
look at all those old dudes.
Yeah.
We could have had a woman there. Okay. Now, best part was any of the cutaways they did to Bill Armstrong when they did a little thing of him and he like had his hands like this. He was serving big time. But watch his reaction to winning the lottery. It's amazing.
NHL Draft held June 27th and 28th.
Number 3.
Wow! 25. NHL Draft.
Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, baby. Yeah, boys. Yeah. Oh, wow. How good is that? You go from 14. Oh, my God, that's great. That's incredible. We're going out for dinner tonight. Okay, Chris is buying. Woohoo, baby.
This is amazing for so many reasons. One, what a fucking stud. He's so goddamn handsome.
I know.
Another
and so
one,
well dressed
hottest
and
GM
put
in the
together.
They go. We talked about it yesterday on the show when we were discussing which teams do we think, quote unquote, deserve to win it the most. And let's be real, we were actually saying which teams we want to win it the most. Although, like, I didn't want the Flyers to win. I thought that they needed it, and I thought the Predators or the Kraken especially needed it. But I had Utah Hockey Club on my list because they had such a fun season. I say they barely missed the playoffs. When all was said and done, they missed the playoffs by 7 spots, but they rode Karel Vejmelka completely down the stretch. He was an absolute stud for them. What a story. We went to the games this year, saw him do the first star thing, the 10-minute penalty kill. Amazing atmosphere in Utah. So give them a good thing. But my favorite thing about that, nobody likes trading more than Bill Armstrong. He did not know that he was going to have a top 5 pick in the NHL draft. He's got an unbelievable system, ranked 7 by The Athletic. You got Boot on the way. You got Simashev on the way. You got Doan. You got Iginla. You got so many guys on the way.
And the only team in hockey with 2 players under the age of 23 to have 50 points this year.
And now he's just sitting there. This guy, this ain't his first gig. Famously, he was GM of the Arizona Coyotes.
Yes.
Lottery doesn't hand that team shit, so he's not expecting anything.
That's true.
And he goes and he is handed the 4th overall pick. Sean, give me the other version of it. This man is like, oh, I am trading the fuck out of this.
Oh, are you kidding me? Ah!
Very Larry David.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that they are the team that is the most fun that didn't deserve it. Like if we're talking about teams that don't deserve it, that's the most fun option, I think.
Yeah. I mean, they definitely don't need it, which is what makes this so exciting. Because think of the teams that missed out on not necessarily the 4th pick, but like on moving up in the lottery. And in the case of the Kraken or Boston, those teams win the lottery, they're picking 1st or 2nd, depending on which drawing it is. They need that shit. They don't have young star players. Utah had a fun NHL roster already. And like not fun like the Sharks fun in that you go to the game, you're going to see awesome players, and there's a very good chance they're going to win the game.
Right.
I will say, as far as teams that don't need it, they are in a good position, like compared to the Sabres, who actively, like a young player is not going to do anything for them. Like their window's not open yet. So by the time any young player, like if they do draft 4th overall, like there's a chance that young player still could be important to them trying to win a Stanley Cup.
Oh, right. Yeah, I thought you were saying. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. That is true. Like they are still a team that is building towards the future. So a young pick actually, like if they use the pick, it makes just as much sense as them trading it. And they already had what promises to be a fun and exciting offseason ahead of them. This just kind of ramps that up even more.
I mean, we've talked about the cap space they have. They have 22 million plus. So they want to go do a big ticket thing, they can. Let's do a big ticket thing now by bringing in general manager of the Utah Hockey Club. For now, we'll try to get the name out of him. Bill Armstrong making his return to What Chaos. Hello, Bill. Congratulations.
Oh, hey, thanks guys for having me. What a glorious day. You know, somebody said it was raining out and I could only see sun this morning. It's just a glorious day here in Utah. So we're super excited about waking up with the 4th overall pick.
I mean, one of the best things about this was your reaction, because we were just talking before. I mean, you're Coyotes GM. They famously did not have a lot of luck in the lottery. You had to have gone into that being like, the hockey gods ain't giving me shit right now. And then suddenly you, the guy who loves making trades, gets the 4th overall pick out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's hard to. I've been sitting there, you know, all through all these things. We've never moved up over the years. All the clubs I've been with. So you just kind of get numb. You know, you kind of get numb to it. And the way that it played out on TV, I didn't want to react because I thought we won, but I wasn't sure, you know. And you don't want to react, and then all of a sudden it played out. But it was truly a game changer for us. You know, we're so excited about being up. You know, you got to remember, if you're picking at 4 or 5, 1 to 5, you've experienced a tremendous amount of pain to get those picks. Those are the moneymaker picks. And, you know, we were able to kind of, you know, jump into that pick. And so for us, we had a great year. We were chasing the playoffs right where we kind of projected to be. And now we have an opportunity to have a top 4 pick. So it's been a heck of a year, and it's certainly a game changer for our organization.
So I got to ask, as a Bruins fan, do you feel at all guilty about just providing me more pain?
I don't. You know, I didn't get a lot of texts from the other GMs congratulating me. So I didn't really. I just I got some sarcastic remarks from some of the other GMs. I didn't see a lot of people outside the state of Utah have a lot of joy for us, but we are truly excited. So it's and I don't feel bad for you. You guys have won a few cups over the years, so.
How confused? Interesting.
If and
Just
when,
one for me.
Yeah, if and when GMs ever talk to you, are you going to have to convince them that you might make the pick? Because we talked last time you were on, you like making deals. And when we were previewing the lottery, I was saying, I know they can only get to 4, but I hope Utah wins because this is a team that was 7 points out of the playoffs last year. 7 of their top 8 point producers are 30 or under, and pretty much all those guys are like 26 and under. You're getting a full season of Sean Dursey. You got Simashev on the way. You got Boot on the way. You got T.J. Ginla on the way. You're going to get more of Doan. So it would stand to reason that you could send that shit to Siberia and get another NHL player to add to this roster. Are you keeping all options open, or when you win this, do you think, all right, I'm going to try to trade this?
I think that's the greatest thing about it is that we do have so many options now to go out and obviously get a player, swap picks, see what the trades are, see what's available at 4 as far as players. There's a lot of options, and we're trying to explore each and every one of them. But I explained to our staff this morning on just a quick meeting with them. I said, "You're the luckiest staff in the world. These guys went to bed one day with no picks in the first round and woke up and we got to pick Gunther on the OEL trade." So I said, you guys have had a pretty good run here and brought us a lot of luck picking up top in the draft, and we get another shot at it too. So we'll see. We'll explore all the options, but it's certainly exciting times for us here.
You mentioned like being numb to it. Do you have paths like planned out, whether like you win the lottery or you just kind of like, does it come as a surprise and then you pivot and adjust to not get ahead of yourself? Like, how do you plan this out?
Well, everybody, it's a big joke. You're going into it. Everybody's like, texting you, hey, go get the win. Make sure you get the win, So I left all the amateur scouts in Dallas. We were wrapping up the U18 championship and watching there. And, we all shook hands on the way out and just said, hey, get the win at the lottery. But you really, truly don't ever think that you're going to win because of the odds. So, the whole time through, normally when you go to those and you don't win, you just like, hey, we are where we are. Now we know where we're going to pick. Let's go. But this particular one is something that will stand out for a long time, moving from 14 all the way up to 4. It's just it's a game changer for us.
When we talk about the options, it seems like it's like, okay, you trade it or you stay at 4. Another option is moving up, because once you get to 4, we're not mathematicians, but like that's pretty close to 1. Do you now consider that and be like, call some of these teams ahead of us and maybe get one of these top 2 guys?
I think you got to plant seeds with every team around you and explore, like I said, every option. You never know. Like we've, the geeky one, we moved way up to get that one done, So we've been able to move up because we have mass amount of picks. And we still have an accumulation next year. I believe we have 3 seconds. So we've got some ammo to kind of boost up our pick. If somebody wants to move back, we can definitely explore that. But that's the great thing with our club, just the amount of picks we've had, the amount of prospects we have. We've got a lot of options, and it'll be exciting to kind of get in there and make that decision.
Probably thanks to you coming on with us during this season. We have a strong Utah following, which we love. So we want to do some Utah-specific stuff for them. Daryl Plandowski and Ryan Jankowski run all your drafts, and they got you Cooley, they got you Simashev, Boot, all these guys. How much faith do you have in them leading this operation?
Well, they've got a massive amounts of experience. Daryl's helped build Tampa into a championship. Ryan's helped build a few clubs in the National Hockey League to championship teams too, and also experience with Team Canada. So, we also have them, and they do an incredible job at pick. And that's one thing that I wanted to make sure when I came through the door that I had some really good, high-quality scouts. We've also added Alan Heppel, who helped build Colorado, and Larry Plow is a 3-time Stanley Cup winner that back in the day, was the head guy for New York that built their championship team. So we've got a massive amount of experience when it comes to amateur scouting in our organization, and I believe that it'll pay dividends for helping us to win a cup. I mean, cups are won through the draft. You got to get your core players there, and I like what we've done with Cooley. I like the Gunthers. I like the Doans, what they've added. There's a lot of other guys they've added in picks, and it's just been a great step for this organization, and we're going to get a chance to take another swing at it at 4.
All right, so you build during the draft, but you also supplement in free agency, and there are cases of teams Pete's a Boston fan that can go get huge guys in free agency, and that changes everything. You got a lot of cap space. We've linked some names to you guys because that's what we do. We stir shit around here. Do you think that you might go for the kind of big ticket guy or spread it around?
We got to look at everything. The one thing that I want to get away from is I don't want to win the summer and then lose the winter. And that's a thing that you got to, that happens a lot. There's a lot of teams that end up on the covers of magazines about how good a job they did in the summer, and everybody applauds all the moves they make, and they implode during the season. We want to take steps. And sometimes those are small steps, organic steps that happen naturally as your club gets better, as Cooley and the Gunthers of the world just get older and get better. That happens naturally. So we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but if there's a piece that we can add that fits in there into the timeline of our players with their age and their ability right now, we'll certainly take a swing at it. Ryan Smith is a great owner that has backed us from the get-go, and we've got a lot of assets in that area, and we certainly can add if we want to. It just comes down to, is it the right fit for the club? And like I said, we want to win in the summer. We want to win in the winter. And sometimes that doesn't translate when you win the summer and just throw things at it. So we'll be planned and calculated.
You mentioned the timeline of it all. How do you evaluate the season that the team just had, and what do you think is like a realistic expectation or goal for next year after the summer?
Well, our season was a good season. I really liked the progress we made. From our PP to our PK, everything took massive growth. Our analytics behind the scenes, our numbers were really, really healthy. We were 12 points improvement from the year before. I like the step that our club made. It was disappointing. We were in the chase. We played meaningful games. We didn't get in. I'd like to blame the St. Louis Blues for going on like a 12-game run. But we went 14-7, and I think it was down the stretch, and we had a good run. We couldn't catch, we couldn't make up ground. There were some other good teams. The Flames were extremely good down the stretch. So were we. So I love where our club has moved to, but we still have to take that next step. So to answer your question, we're a team that should get into the 95-point range and above, and hopefully into a playoff spot. Our division is just tough, but that makes us better too. So I like that. Every night's a grind, and there's a lot of teams that are making massive amount of improvements and getting better. So it's going to be a battle, but I like where our club's headed, and I loved our season, and we got a chance to get to take the next step and get over 95 points next year.
I have to note this because you just did it again, and the chat has pointed it out. You keep using the word massive. Are you afraid to say the word mammoth?
Listen, all that stuff, the naming and all that is way above my pay grade. So I'm going to leave that to Chris, the other Armstrong, Chris Armstrong, and Ryan Smith, and they can go ahead and do all that. People, it's amazing around. I went to a party down the street, and people are trying to get the name out of it. I'm just like, I don't want any part of that conversation.
Incredible. Last time we were there during the season, talked to people about the team, and a lot of it was about the future. I'm going to give you three names, and I know that you have a lot of good young players, but Simashev, Boot, and Iginla. What do you expect from them next year? Do you think those guys are on the team next year making contributions? I know that Simashev is the big one that everyone seems to be saying, like, wait till that guy gets there.
Yeah, he's a big boy. I really loved his season. He played on a championship team. They're in the finals now. He played on one of the best teams in the KHL. He is elite at being big and moving. He's got great defensive sense. The way he kills plays, his speed. I mean, he really was impressive. Obviously there's a North American translation that they've never played in North America before. So that's going to be a little bit of a transition for them, and hopefully they can make that up. But they've played in an amazing organization over there in the KHL. So it's prepared them for their time coming over here. So he's going to be a big add for us, along with Daniel Boot and Iginla. Those guys, they'll come in and battle for spots on the team. It's going to be an extremely competitive, talented group that comes in to battle for positioning for our team. It's going to be great coming to training camp. It beats those lean years where I think we might have had the worst roster in the NHL, and it was tough to watch. And my mother said to me, we went in to play an exhibition game against Vancouver. She goes, "You guys aren't very good." So nowadays it's a changed atmosphere, and you can see the skill level and the talent on the ice, and that's exciting coming to the rink here in Utah. And I know you guys have kept your eye on Utah and done some stuff out here, and it's an impressive place. We're going to also add an elite practice facility out here in the fall. It's coming September 1st. It opens up. It's a two-pad ice sheet with a massive training area. So it's going to be state-of-the-art, and that's going to help for our recruiting, along with the city of Salt Lake and how beautiful it is and the mountains that surround it. It's a special place to play, and I believe we got one of the best owners in sports. So we're truly building for the future here, and it really helps getting the 4th overall pick too. It's going to add into our assets that we can to build a better team.
When you, if you do end up making that 4th overall pick, do you expect us to know the name by then, and will you be comfortable discussing the name by then?
It's the Massive. He already said.
Yes, the Utah Massive.
One of the tricks I've learned is always just to say it's above my pay grade to answer that.
I'll ask you.
You guys are good though.
What was it like last week when the name seemingly leaked, allegedly? Was it chaos around those parts?
I've never heard that before. Really? Something leaked
Tuesday,
out?
yeah. Last Tuesday, the YouTube page changed its handle to @Utah Mammoth, and you have fans. You know how faithful the Utah Hockey Club fans are. They are checking and refreshing everything associated with the organization, trying to find a kernel of anything. I'm sure they're doing Control F, typing all the team names, and they found, and it was for like minutes before it was changed, but very briefly, the YouTube was @Utah Mammoth, and maybe that's because they were trying out some stuff or whatever. But there was, we'll say, about an hour where we were like, we fucking got him, folks. We caught him.
This is the first I've heard of this, so I'll have to go back and digest it. But maybe next time we talk, we could get a little more deeper into the name, and maybe it's out by then. I'm not sure, but I could tell you this about the process. It's the greatest process because it involves the fans. The kids get to vote on the name of the team. It's been a huge hit here. I think people in Utah really like having the input on the name of the team. It's been a slam dunk. So, we'll see how it turns out, and hopefully next time we're talking and we it's all been released, and you guys can stop badgering me.
Bill, you're the greatest. Have a great day with all this. I'm sure you're making the rounds now, right? Like you doing like Good Morning America, Tonight Show, all this.
Not quite, but we're everybody in Utah has been calling this morning, and it's been the phone's been ringing, and it's been exciting times for us. So we like it, and it's been a great boost here. And it's been just I guess just your mind's been blown about what the possibilities, what we can do with that 4th overall pick.
Amazing. I mean, no one better to move up 10 spots than the guy who makes all the trades. It just makes hockey so much more exciting that you now suddenly are equipped with the 4th overall pick. So congratulations.
And thank you for making some time for us this morning. Appreciate you.
I really appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. It's the great Bill Armstrong, Utah Hockey Club. He's the best, not just because he's willing to do our stuff, but because, he's just the whole package.
Oh, yeah.
Charming as F.
And one of the few GMs that I feel like we could be comfortable badgering about the name, the Utah Badgers. Confirmed.
Ooh, Utah Badgers. There's a Utah Massive. I did, if we had like 40 more minutes, I wanted to do some Wasatch talk with them. But man, they're in such a good spot, and I just hope that people don't do with this draft what they did with the NFL draft, which was like 4th overall pick. Yeah, no one wants a 4th overall pick though, so you can't trade it. You can't get a lot for it. Someone's gonna fall in love with Higgins, or someone's gonna fall in love with, I don't know, like Martone, Denoyer, somebody.
I think regardless of the
Jake O'Brien,
I think regardless of like how many players are considered like a 1-player draft, 2-player draft. If you get the 4th overall pick, you got to be happy. Like I would have loved the 4th overall pick for the Bruins. Better than 7.
Maybe you'll get it. Maybe you're the team that maybe you trade Pasternak for the 4th overall pick.
And that the NFL draft, even though people were talking like that, there's still the Atlanta Falcons of it all who will give up hauls just to go get a guy they like.
Yeah,
and so they're obviously in a very good position to be for there to be someone that someone is in love with at 4.
All right. If you're watching for Bill Armstrong, or if you're in here for the first time, make sure you do subscribe on YouTube and subscribe everywhere you can get it. Instagram, Twitter as well. Pete, we talked and you lamented getting the 7th overall pick. How devastating is that for you? Because I'll remind you, as long as it's a top 10 pick, you should be able to get a regular NHL player, and like obviously Quinn Hughes went 7th overall.
Yeah, like I mean, like obviously you want 1 or 2, especially this year. But like I'm not gonna act like 7 is the end of the world. I don't know who they're gonna get. I don't know who they're gonna take, and there's a good chance that 7, like you mentioned, could be better than some of those other picks. So I'm not gonna act like the sky is falling. I just hope that it is, regardless of what happens, regardless of who they take, if they take somebody, I hope that it is a mammoth step forward for the Boston Bruins.
A mammoth. Do you buy that he didn't know about the YouTube thing?
Yeah, no.
I buy that.
That guy's allowed to lie to me.
I think he knows the name. I think he probably genuinely did not know about the YouTube thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that. But if he's just like looking me straight in the face and lying, I respect him even more.
That's right.
Like,
he's a good actor.
When you have that charm, you better fucking use it.
Better poker face for that than winning the lottery. He said he tried to like control his emotions when he was like, I wasn't sure if we won. You could see the excitement on his face. That's what was beautiful.
Sean, give me the second one again.
Oh, are you kidding me? Ah!
He's goated.
The best.
He rules. We got some games tonight. Back to hockey. Do you know this? There are games. Sean, toss up the slate if you wouldn't mind. Hurricanes at Capitals. Game 1, 7 p.m. Eastern. This is an under-discussed series, I would say. And granted, we've kind of just talked about whatever game just happens, and then we talk about other shit. But Hurricanes Capitals, I feel, is getting the least attention.
I mean, we did like a second-round preview episode yesterday, and we hit on 3 series and just left them in the dust.
Are the Hurricanes guilty by association because they just played the Devils?
I think so.
Kind of. I think the Hurricanes might just be this year's New York Rangers.
What do you mean?
Doesn't really matter what you do. You're just not that interesting.
Oh, I disagree. The Hurricanes are
like
definitely
the Hurricanes.
interesting. Yeah, I don't think that
I
there
have
is
the Hurricanes winning this series, by the way.
I don't think that there is
fair.
an uninteresting team in the playoffs right
I think
now.
the Hurricanes are the least interesting team. Because, I mean, it's also like it's the Hurricanes. We've seen this story before. They're going to be good, and then they're going to get to the playoffs, and they're just not going to finish the job, and then they're going to be eliminated.
But do we punish the Hurricanes for the Jets making themselves interesting, derogatory? Like, if the Jets just fucking behaved, they might be the least interesting.
I am not particularly interested in the Jets either. Like, if you're asking me how I think that series is going to go, the Stars are going to shit kick. Or just going to shit pump the Avs, or the Jets.
Okay, that's
Belt
on
ass.
ESPN. And then the Oilers at Golden Knights, Game 1, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. You can catch that on ESPN.
Bob Wischusen on the call for this series.
Good team they've got.
Whole
they got
series?
At least 1 and 2.
Stormy tapping in.
Yep.
They got a good team for that. It's not what Sportsnet has. In case you missed it, Sportsnet will have Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, Gene Principe. God, that's so good.
I know, but like as long as we can get the best possible broadcast team for the Oilers, Golden Knights, I will take that. And I think that is Bob Wischusen. And you mentioned
Gonna be controversial.
Stormy Buonantony on that game. Do you think that she was not allowed to work the Carolina Hurricane series? Conflict of interest?
Yes.
Storms.
Famously into Storms. Very good. I'm going to be controversial. I would swap out Bob for Butchergrass this series. I would rather Butchergrass.
Bob is, no disrespect to John Butchergrass, who I love.
He is a superior play-by-play man. Butchie's more interesting.
Bob is the best. The best that the U.S. has to offer on any of the networks.
Bob is very good. He's a good play-by-play guy.
Anything I say about this is going to sound like I'm talking ill about Bucci. Which
Right,
is
that's
case.
but
I think that's even.
Bucci would
I
say
think
like,
it's
Bob
kind of
is
a crazy.
so good at his job.
Bucci calls a good game and he's entertaining.
Bob elevates more than anybody on the U.S. broadcasts.
Oh, we got
Kenny Albert is. It feels like a little bit of disrespect to Kenny Albert. Kenny Albert's probably like a 1B in that situation.
I have massive breaking news that I will share with you guys in a couple of seconds.
Oh boy,
give it to me.
I'm getting the elements together.
Oh boy, I don't know who's calling the other game. Do we know?
Bob was choosing.
He's double duty. They
They're
threw him on the
giving
PJ.
him- what's that?
They thrown him on the PJ. Ferraro's
The,
PJ.
Ferraro PJ.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what?
What?
What? I mean, this isn't live, so the chat can't say. Oh, there it is. Wait, he did an after?
He did after before. He did it a little backwards, but
That's
he cleaned
Canadian.
it
That's
up.
what they do in Canada.
He cleaned it up, and he's got the slick back hair.
Oh,
Gene
man.
Principe.
I mean, Gene looks great no matter, for audio listeners, Gene cut his hair apparently.
Cut his hair and slicked it back.
That's pushback. That's pushed back.
Yeah.
not slicked
You think
back.
that's slicked
You
back?
think that's slicked back?
I
That's
don't know.
pushed back.
I don't know what's happening here.
I think you should leave.
You think this is slicked back?
Is
this
that-
is pushed back.
Is that like a?
That's like the
It's a
sloppy,
piece of shit
sloppy
guy.
steaks. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Isn't your hair slicked back now? You think this is slicked back?
He looks good.
This is not the only bit of Oilers broadcast content that we've gotten.
I would hate
over
if
the
it were.
over the last 24 hours because Bob Stauffer last night doubled down. Here we go. We got version 2.0 of the Bob Airport Walk, and this time he knows what's
He's
happening.
staring straight into the fucking
he
lens.
knows what's happening.
Oh, I didn't even see this part. He takes the
my
glasses
God.
off. Oh,
Damn.
take it easy, Bob.
I
This is why
mean,
we do the show.
between Gene's new hair,
It's the hottest
which is
broadcast
pushed
in
back,
in North America.
those two just look like organized crime bosses.
Oh yes.
What does offensive? Gene's famously Italian. What does Jack or Louis need to do to even register on this scale?
Like commit crimes, racketeering.
I'm saying some what's the Channing Tatum movie?
Magic Mike.
Yeah, they have to like get on some Magic Mike shit to even register on this scale of sex appeal that Bob and Gene have created.
Do you think Channing Tatum would be offended by listening to that clip? Like, what's that Channing Tatum movie? And we both said the exact same movie, and it's Magic Mike.
Well, I mean,
we were talking about someone like being sexy though.
There wasn't enough context clues to get us both there that quickly.
I think there were. If we're talking about physical attraction or something along those lines, and you say Channing Tatum, I'm gonna jump to Magic Mike instantly.
now, Fergus Marner super chats and says, "I think Sean thinks people can't change."
That's right.
A lot of people worried that Sean thinks Gene can't change.
What did I say that suggested that?
Sean, you're missing all these references.
I am.
You gotta watch that episode of I Think You Should
Yeah,
Leave.
that's I would
That's
think
like
that
the
you'd have
goat.
that one. Ezra Koenig of Vampire Weekend provides the music for that one. It's a dangerous night.
What do you know about a pit named Slickback?
I don't.
You got to say the full name every time.
Is that like a Tribe Called Quest?
No, it's from Boondocks. There's a Cat Williams voices a character named a pimp named Slickback, and you are required to say a pimp named Slickback every single time you address him.
All right.
Okay, well, Oil Men get going tonight against the Knights, and I don't know why. Maybe I feel like I have a little new lease on life. I thought they could lose last series. After 2 games, I thought they were going to lose last series. Now here they are playing a much better team, although could you dare say the Oilers have the better goaltending?
No.
What?
Are you guys watching the postseason?
Yeah.
Gaten Hill's been really bad.
Yeah, but
Calvin Pickard's been really bad, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna.
I would say
if you're going by the numbers, they do. So I don't know
But
what
I'm
those
saying,
faces
like-
were
but
for.
you also have to leave open the possibility of one of these goaltenders becoming very good.
Yeah,
or
I was gonna
becoming
say,
good.
like, if you were to,
And who do you have more faith in?
if you were
the
to
more
ask
it would
me,
be Stu Skinner. He's done it more recently.
Is he going to play?
I'm fucking you guys up right now.
I
Well,
mean,
but I mean,
we're
blowing your
talking about a
brain- your-
goaltender
your tiny
who
little
we discussed
brains.
yesterday shouldn't be playing.
But that's like if they were playing the Jets and you were like, who has the goaltending advantage? Like,
Oh, I mean, right now, who has the goaltending advantage in that series? Absolutely, it's the Stars.
Yeah, definitely.
in that series, I'm saying if you were saying Jets, like I'm using the Connor Hellebuck example against Calvin Pickard or Stuart Skinner. Like, obviously, Connor Hellebuck hasn't been good, but I think it would still be ridiculous to say that the Oilers would have a goaltending advantage.
But
against
I'm
the
an
Jets.
Aiden Hill guy. I think you're less of one. You don't do the Aiden Hill hasn't been good enough for me to give him the benefit of the doubt thing, because you were doing that with Skinner this season, and I definitely agreed with it.
I mean, I think we're talking about like a mid-off right now.
Yeah,
as
it was
referenced by
just
the
like
chat.
a throwaway thought. I was just taken aback by how shocked you boys were.
Well,
at
right
the
now
suggestion.
it is Aiden Hill versus Calvin Pickard, and
Yeah.
there is a higher ceiling on one of those players.
Definitely
agree with
agree.
that.
It would be great.
But I just think at the end of the day, the Oilers goaltending is not good enough. It doesn't matter if they've put 4 straight shutouts up. I'm not going to feel confident in saying that the goaltending should be a conversation, like as a strength for the Oilers.
Yeah, should not be the element that you point to and say, I think they got the advantage here.
All right, what are you geniuses who picked the Kings last round? What do you think happens this series?
I don't fucking know. I'm not going to try to guess that.
Smart. That's the right answer.
That's the beauty of the Oilers, baby. Just tune in to find out.
What do I think is going to happen? I think the Golden Knights are going to win this series.
You're about to say handily?
No. I think they could. I don't think I think the Golden Knights are going to win the series. I think they're a better team. I think Jack Eichel is a good player, and he only scored 1 goal last series. Like I think he's going to be better. But fuck, I mean, it's Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. If you told me that they swept this series, I wouldn't be surprised by that either.
I should feel worse going into this series than I did going into last season and a series, and for some reason, I don't. By the time both series ended, and Vegas like barely, I know it was a 6-game series, but barely got by Minnesota. I was like, Edmonton had an easier time with LA, who was really good the second half of the season, than Vegas did with Minnesota. So I don't know. Maybe it portends well. No Ekholm this series. No Dorofeev to start for Vegas, which is a bit of a loss. But
according to our guy Sinbin Vegas, who we met in Vegas, may not see him this series. Or would not be surprised if you don't see Pavel Dorofeev this series, which would be a huge loss.
I said that like Jack Eichel hopefully will be better, but he also could not be. He just didn't do a whole lot in the last series. And if that's happening, and you don't have Dorofeev,
I'm interested to see what happens in these games in Vegas, because seemingly Knobloch, and I think they're doing morning skate nowish, seemingly Knobloch is for real doing the Draisaitl, McDavid, Perry line, which is not what I would do against Vegas, because I think that Vegas is very deep and I would spread those guys out. But maybe he's suddenly so in love with his depth, and obviously their depth was awesome the second half of that series, that he's like, yeah, you know what? I can match a Adam Henrique third line against anybody.
Well, I mean, if you watch the Wild Vegas Golden Knights series, like the Wild essentially gave Vegas a scare by running one monster line out there that dominated against the Eichel line, and they just didn't have the depth behind those guys for it to hold up. So if Knobloch does believe in his depth, that might be the way to push forward. I don't know.
Anything can happen. I'm oddly tranquil about it.
What do you think is the better series of the ones starting tonight?
Oh, I mean, one way or another, this series is going to make us feel things and give us heart palpitations, even if it's a sweep. Either way.
Yeah, I mean, but I also think that I think that the first game is going to be interesting too, because both of those teams had probably more troubles than they should have had in the first round.
Agree with that as well.
So we're going to be finding stuff out in that other series. I think it could be a good one.
Hey, my name is Patrick with a Sean DePaz reference.
That's quite the call.
White boys getting haircuts. Is that what you would say?
No, I said white boys be growing their hair out.
Oh, white people are growing their hair out.
Quite the opposite.
Yes. But white boys be getting haircuts.
We'll have to get a white person on the show tomorrow and discuss. It feels like, I don't know, I feel like maybe overtime's coming or something, or maybe it's just because we did 2 shows yesterday, so I'm in a sort of rhythm. I feel like as we sign off for this show, it's not talk to you tomorrow, it's talk to you in a few minutes. But for now, our show is winding down, so make sure that you are subscribed everywhere, following us on the socials, definitely on the YouTube. And Pete,
go ahead and like the video. That is the thumbs up button right below the video player. We love it when you hammer that like button, and it helps us out. Still not really sure how, but it does.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Hammer it, hammer it, hammer it. I also think this is the shortest show of the postseason so far.
Yeah, big by like a decent amount.
Good. This is, I mean, if we can get a
tiny bit of work,
if we can get a nice action-packed night, what is it, 65 minutes?
65.
Not bad. All right, I'm about to sneeze. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.